Okay, so doing part two of Act Two now. Nora's just been left by her husband. She's bewildered with anxiety, stands as if rooted on the spot. You know, she's stuck, she can't move. And she whispers, she's scared. He was capable of doing it, he will do it, he will do it in spite of everything. No, not that, never, never, anything rather than that. So we've got the short sentences, we've got repetition, we've got exclamation marks. For some help, some way out of it. So she's not anywhere in the sentence either. It's he, or never. It's either, what do you call them? Sentence fragments, or she's not there as an object and it's just Krogstad there as the subject. So she lacks complete power. Doorbell rings, Dr. Rank. Anything rather than that, anything, whatever it is, she puts her hands over her face. Again, the imagery here, pulls herself together, performance, goes to the door, opens it. Rank is standing there without hanging up his coat. Without means outside. During the following dialogue, it begins to grow dark, right? So that's important there. Perhaps a loss of hope, or perhaps setting a mood for something more flirtatious. Good day. But you mustn't go into Torvald now. I think he was busy with something. When Rank comes, tell him where he will find me. Okay, that's what the last thing Torvald said. And she doesn't do that. I think he's busy with something, right? Already lies, deception, deceit, whatever, right? And you, she brings him in. She's power. She's leading the way, right? Oh, you know, I always have time for you. Thank you, and I shall make as much of it as I can. What do you mean by that? As much of it as I can. Does that alarm you? It's such a strange way of putting it. Is anything likely happening? Nothing, but nothing but what I've long been prepared for. He's going to die. Gripping him by the arm, overperformance, hyperbolic imagery. What have you found out? You must tell me. Sitting by the stove. It's all up with me, and it can't be helped. He's dying. Is it about yourself? Sigh of relief. She thought it was about. Your book's a bit different because you've got the American translation. But yeah, basically, her first thought is it's something to do with Krogstad. And when he's like, no, it's all up with me, I'm dying. She's like, oh, sigh of relief. Is it about yourself? Who else? It's no use lying to oneself. I'm the most wretched of all my patients, right? Again, it's alluded to, a bit like his dad, women are around. He's got syphilis maybe. He's got consumption as well. He's got some sort of STI and he's wretched. I've been taking stock of my internal economy. Bankrupt, so moral bankruptcy, right? Internal economy, moral deeds, good deeds, bad deeds. Probably within a month, I shall lie rotting in the churchyard. He's dying from his SDI. What an ugly thing to say. That the thing itself is cursedly ugly, and the worst of it all is that I shall have to face so much more that it is ugly before that. I shall only make one more examination of myself. When I've done that, I shall know pretty certainly what it'll be in the horrors of disillusion, blah, blah, blah. This is not that important. There is something I'll tell you. Helmer's refined nature gives him an unconquerable disgust at everything that is ugly. Helmer, Torvald, is so perfect. He hates everything that's morally not perfect, anything that's tainted. I won't have him in my sick room. I won't have him come to see me as I'm dying. I'm sick. He's so perfect. He's so morally unconquerable disgust at everything, right? I won't have him in my sick room. Like the literal sick room, but the metaphorical. He's too good for me. He's not, mate. Again, probably a bit of dramatic irony there. He's not too good for you. I won't have him there, not on my account. I bar him to my door. I bar my door to him. As soon as I'm quite certain that the worst has come, I shall send you my card with a black cross on it, and then you will know the loathsome end has become. Then you'll know I'm actually dying. You're quite absurd today. And I wanted you to be in a really good humour. With death stalking beside me, is he being a bit emotional, maybe? I don't know. To have to pay this penalty for another man's sin. Is there any justice in that? And in every single family, in one way or another, some such inexorable retribution is being exacted. Right, so again, rubbish, don't talk of something. Talk of something cheerful. It's a mere laughing matter, the whole thing. My poor innocent spine has to suffer for my father's useful amusement. So because his dad has been sleeping around, he's obviously caught something as well. It's hereditary. The morality is, or immorality is hereditary. And then again, like the diseases he's picked up are also hereditary. I suppose, so someone didn't get this today. They were like the asparagus and pate foie gras. This is, the asparagus especially will be an allusion to an STI, like to help you urinate. But then we've got here pate de foie gras. truffles, yes, and oysters, and they start going. We start going on and talking about what's the word? Aphrodisiacs now. So there's a lot of sexual stuff here. Truffles, oysters, champagne, strawberries, anything like that. These are all sexual aphrodisiacs. These foods are supposed to be like increase sexual desires and libido. So they're like proper flirting now as well. Right? There's a definite sexual tension, which is matched by the atmosphere of the darkening, dimming outside. All these nice things take revenge on our bones, basically. Lots and lots of like sexual stuff takes revenge on the bones, like his dad, like him. Especially that they should revenge themselves on the unlucky bones on those who have not had the satisfaction of enjoying them. Yes, that's the saddest part of all. He's like, oh yeah, I haven't done all that, and she's like, yeah, I haven't done all that either, and that makes us sound whatever, right? After a short pause, why did you smile? No, it was you that laughed. No, it was you. Oh my God, it's cringe. They're flirting. Da da da. You're a greater rascal than I thought. I'm in a silly mood today, so it seems. Patting hands on the shoulders. Dear Dr. Rank, death mustn't take you from Torvald and me. It's a loss you'd easily recover from. Do you believe that? People form new ties. Who will form new ties? Both you and Helmo when I'm gone. You yourself are already on the high road to it, I think. Oh, you don't mean you're jealous of Paul Christine, right? Like, it's flirty, there's a stuff going on. You've got this idea of victimhood as well, which maybe you can connect to Blanche and even Stanley to a degree. She'll be my successor when I'm done. This woman will. Hush, don't be so loud. She's in that room. Today, again, there you see. She's only come to sell a dress. Bless my soul, how unreasonable you are. Be nice now, doctor. Tomorrow you will see how beautifully I shall dance. And you can imagine I'm doing it all for you. Bro, like, no, you're married in the 19th century. There's definitely breaking taboos, going against morality. Like, it's behind closed doors, but you've got this hypocrisy there. For Torvald too, of course. It's an afterthought. The sort of interjection there is the afterthought. Dr. Rank, come sit here, I'll show you something. Look at those silk stockings. Look, imagine that. She's showing us silk stockings. Aren't they lovely? Flesh coloured. Back in the 19th century. No, you must only look at my feet. Well, you may have a look at the legs too. Oh my God, why are you looking so critical? Don't you think they'll fit me? I have no means of forming an opinion about that. For shame. Hits him lightly on the ear. The stocking's playful. That's to punish you. Ugh. Gross. And then we got, and what other nice things am I allowed to see? Oh my God, proper flirting. Not a single thing more for me being so annoyed. Basically, all of this, could I just fast forward a little bit? Because all this stuff here is just them flirting, and it's a way to say they're going against these social traditions. It's already as well a form of her, what do you call it? Like her subversion, her challenging societal norms. This is the beginning of it as well. She's starting to dishevel herself to free the shackles of married life by flirting, but also you've got ideas of hypocrisy. Those two things are going on at the same time, and depending on your lens, you're going to analyse them a little bit differently. Haven't I your confidence more than anyone else? I know you're my truest and best friend, so I tell you what it is. It is something you must help me prevent. You know how devotedly, how inexpressibly deeply Torvald loves me. He would never for a moment hesitate to give his life for me. Girl. This is going to be important juxtaposition for later and a form of irony as well. Do you think he is the only one? Basically, he's alluding he would as well, with a slight start. Oh my God, look at that imagery. They're about to kiss. They don't, but they're about to kiss. The only one who would gladly give his life for your sake. Is that it? I was determined you should know it before I went away. So now he confesses his love to her. Now you know it, Nora. And now you know, too, that you can trust me as you would trust no one else. Rises deliberately and quietly. Let me pass. He's gone too far. He's overcrossed the line. She's still not ready yet. She is going to become more liberated, but she's still not. Also, she doesn't need another man in her life. Makes room. Nora, Helen, bring me the lamp. Lights up the room. This ruins the atmosphere, obviously. Lightening everything. It's no longer dim. It's no longer a bit sexual. Dr. Rank, that was horrid of you. You've crossed the line. To have loved you as much as anyone else, was that horrid? No, but to go on and tell me so. There was really no need. What do you mean? Did you know? Nora, Mrs. Helmer, tell me, had you any idea of this? Oh, how do I know whether I had or whether I hadn't? I really can't tell. To think you could be so clumsy, Dr. Rank. We were getting on so nicely, yeah? Social boundaries, clumsy, drop the ball there, mate. Um, well, at all events, you know that you can command me body and soul, religious sort of stuff again. So won't you speak out? After what happened, I beg you to know what it is. I can't tell you anything now. You've crossed that thing. Yes, yes. You mustn't punish me in that way. Religious. Let me have permission to do whatever a man may do. You can do nothing for me now. Besides, I don't need any help at all. You will find that the whole thing is merely a fancy and merely a dream on my part. It really is. She sits down in the rocking chair and looks in with a smile. You are a nice sort of man. Don't feel so ashamed of yourself. Now the lamp has come. The end of the tension. Um, yeah, the fancy. Think about what she was dreaming of, her imagination, a rich man saving her. So she'd thought it as well. Again, is that what's that saying about our relationship with Torvald? Was she super, super in love, like she says? And perhaps I better go forever. Oh, God, so melodramatic. How much we got left? Let's go to the Tarantella. Okay, let's go through. So, I love my papa best. Let's do the Tarantella. Uh, Krogstad comes. This is important. Okay, cool. So, the dreadful thing is going to happen. The man comes. Yes, ma'am. Let him in. So Krogstad's here. Let him in. No, they can't have any. Shan't happen. She bolts the door of Helma's room. The maid opens Krogstad and shuts it after him. He's wearing a coat, high boots, and a fur cap. Speak low, my husband is at home. No matter about that. What do you want of me? An explanation of something. Remember, he's just gotten the letter that says he's been dismissed. Make haste then. Be quick. What is it? You know, I suppose that I've got on my dismissal. I couldn't prevent it. I fought as hard as I could, but it was no good. Does your husband love you so little then? He knows what I can expose you to, and yet he ventures. He doesn't know. I didn't suppose so at all. It would not be the least like idea Torvald Helmer to show so much courage. Oh, throwing shade. Little respect for my husband, certainly, all the respect he deserves, but since you have kept the matter so carefully to yourself, I make bold to suppose you have little clearer idea than you have yesterday of what is actually you done. More than you could ever teach me. Yes, such a bad liar I am. What is it you want of me? Think of my little children, right? So she's calling out for this. A mere cashier, a quill driver. A man like me even has so little of what you call of what is called feeling. You know, he's starting to feel a bit guilty. He wants to check in on her. He's a good person. Even though he's a mere cashier, quill driver, a man like me. Yeah, we've got the asyndeton of all the small jobs, like the low roles in society. And he's like, I still have feeling. Have you, if your husband, thought of my children? No, you haven't. But I don't worry about that. Like, so this is really important characterization of classes because, like, Krogstad's not a bad guy. I wanted you to take this matter. Don't take it too seriously. In the first part, there will be no accusation made on my part. Like, he's threatening her, but he doesn't actually want her to be in trouble. And he's come round to kind of tell her that now. The whole thing can be arranged amicably. There is no reason why anyone should know. It will be a secret. I don't want to tell anyone. I'm just desperate. But he's come round to check on her. He's a good guy. My husband will never know about it. How long would you be able to prevent it? Am I to understand you can pay the balance that is owing? No. Or perhaps that you have some expedient for raising the money soon? No. Well, in that case, it would have been no use to you now. If you stood there with the money in the hand, I would never part with your bond. I need my job. He's still threatening. He's not perfect. I shall only preserve it, keep it in my possession. No one who is not concerned with the matter. Basically, I'm going to keep the money. I'm going to keep the IOU, the thing that proves that you did the fraud. Because if I'm put to this desperate resolution, it's driven you to any desperate resolution. He's basically saying here, this is where it gets really important because these are some good stuff for paper too, I think. I'm checking, don't you kill yourself. Thought it has driven you to any desperate resolution. Don't kill yourself. It has. If you had it in your mind to run away from your home, it had. Or something worse, killing yourself. How could you know that? Give up the idea. Don't do that. Please don't do that. He's like asking her not to do anything rash. How did you know I'd thought of that? Most of us think of it at first. I did too, but I hadn't the courage, right? Really important, because this is what society, morality, belief systems, class systems, all traditions, all of these things force people to think about suicide. All of these things, the idea that if you do something bad, like it's a sort of, it's a death of sort, it's a metaphorical death. You might even think about real death like suicide. No more Hodai, in a tone of relief. He's actually happy. He doesn't want her to. No, that is it. And then you add the courage. Eva, besides, it would have been a great piece of folly. Once the storm at home is over, I have a letter, like a storm being like the metaphor for what's going to happen in the house. I have a letter for your husband telling him everything in as lenient manner. Like, he's not a bad guy, man. The lower classes in this book are like not the bad ones. The villains are society itself, the structures, the ideas, belief systems, morality, tradition, whatever, right? And then obviously Torvald. He mustn't get the letter, tear it up. I'll find something to get the money. I've just told you, I'm not speaking of what I owe you. Tell me a sum of what you are asking for. I will get the money. I'm not asking for a penny. I don't want a handout. I want to rehabilitate myself. I want to go on. And in that, your husband must help me. I want to have an honest job. For the last year and a half, I've not had a hand in anything dishonourable. Amid all that time, I've been struggling in the most restricted circumstances. I was content to try to work my way up slowly, step by step on the ladder, that metaphor of just slowly climbing. I will do it. I don't need anyone else. I'm a self-made man. I'm reliant. Like the structures tell me I should be. But now it's not fair. I've been turned out for no reason, for like the most petty reasons. And I just want to be able to like get on with my way. He will know I know him. He dare not protest. As soon as I am here again with him, then you will see. Within a year, I shall be his right hand. It will be Niels Krogstad and not Torvald Helmer who manages the bank. He's like, I'm going to work my way up. I'm going to do it properly, but just do it. You can't get rid of me for like these petty things. I have the courage enough for it. I'm going to threaten you, right? You can't frighten me. A fine, spoilt lady like you, you will see, you will see. She's not fine, spoilt lady. She's wily. She knows what she's doing. But he's disdainful in calling her spoiled. But he still gives her, he calls her a lady. Doesn't call her a girl. I'd say in many ways he gives her more respect than Torvald. Under the ice, yeah, that's a metaphor for down in the cold, whatever. That's a metaphor for suicide, because that's how people would have killed themselves in Norway. They'd have just jumped in the river, float to the surface, all horrible, with your hair falling out. He's like, you can't frighten me, nor you me. People don't do such things. Besides, what use would it be? I should have him completely in my power, all the same. Afterwards, when I'm no longer, have you forgotten that his eyes keeping your reputation? She's looking at him. Well, now I have warned you. Don't do anything. He's desperate, right? Like, he is not he's still a kind of antagonist to her. When we put her as the protagonist, he's still an antagonist, yeah? One of many. But I do think he's one of the better ones of all the characters. Goodbye. He's gone. Mrs. Lynn comes back. Christine, come here. There it lies. Oh, there you go. In the letterbox, there it lies. He's put the letter basically saying the crime she's done in the letterbox. Really important, because she knows it's there. She doesn't have a key to this. She has no power. When Torvald goes to open his letterbox, he will know everything, right? What's the matter with you? It was Krogstad who lent you the money. Yes, and now Torvald will know about it. Believe me, Nora, that's the best thing for both of you. Because deceit, deception, these are all important themes. And Mrs. Lynn, Christine's messages, honesty is the best medicine for that. Right? Very, very basic message here. If you tell the truth, everything will come out okay. You don't know I'll forge the name. Good heavens. I only want to say this to you. You must be my witness. Your witness? What do you mean? What am I? If I should go out of my mind, and it might happen, or if anything else might happen that prevent me being here, if it should happen that there was someone who wanted to take all responsibility or the blame, you understand, then you must be my witness that it is not true. I am not out of my mind at all. I am in my right senses now, and I tell you, no one else has known anything about it. I alone did the whole thing. Remember that. She's a strong person. Yeah, she takes responsibility for her actions, unlike a lot of other characters. How should you understand it? Wonderful thing is going to happen. A wonderful thing is going to happen. A wonderful thing. Yes, a wonderful thing, but it's so terrible. It mustn't happen for all the world, right? What could that wonderful thing be? So terrible. Oxymoron. Oxymoron is really easy to analyze. It's showing the conflict she's going through. On the one hand, oh no, this thing's happened. I'm going to have to like leave. I'm going to be liberated either through death or through leaving or through something else. But it is so terrible. At this point, that's her only idea. There was a time he would gladly do anything for my sake. Where does he live? How should I know? Here is the card. Oh, there you go. So this is important. So Mrs. Lind is like, there's a time he would do anything for me. I will go see him. They used to be in love. Where does he live? And then, yeah, she goes out the door, like whatever, right? Feeling her pocket. Oh, there you go. No, she's still there. Where am I? Mrs. Lind, who has read the card. I see he lives in the corner here. Yes, but it's no use. The letter's lying in the box, and your husband keeps the key. Yes, or wait. Like, very important symbolism there. He keeps the key to everything. He has all the power, all the control. Mrs. Lind, she's going to go ask Krogstad for the letter and find some pretense to open it. Krogstad will go to the house, be like, yo, I'll put a letter in your box. Can I have it back, please? Blah, 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 blah. Nora goes to Helmut's door, peeps in. Mrs. Lind's gone, right? Then, at the end of the play, how much more we got left? Oh, loads still. Right. Okay. Where are we? Okay. Rank, led me to expect splendid transformation. What is it, my dear? I understood. It's transformation. Transformation important thematically. The idea of change, big change is coming. Nobody has the chance of admiring me in my dress until tomorrow, but my dear Nora, you look so worn out. Have you been practicing too much? No, I've not practiced at all. Can we go on with it? Yes, help me. All right, there you go. Help me, Torvald. Help me do the dance. I'm so nervous. You must give yourself up to me entirely, because she doesn't want him now. So this is really important. This is what I want to tell you about. Because the letter's outside, she wants no reason for him going outside and getting the letter. She's trying to stall him. So in that way, she's being manipulative. Again, she has a bit of power here because she's trying to stop him, right? But she's also super anxious. So she's like, help me do the dance. You mustn't even take your pen in your hand. Maybe phallic symbol. She's like taking the power back. She removed the phallic symbol, so I have the power. And subtly she does. Yeah, she's the controller. She's doing the dance. She's leading him. She's leading the dance. But watch her. Goes across the hole, turns to the letterbox. Nora at the piano plays the first bars of the Tarantella. He stops. Yeah, she's leading the scene. I can't dance tomorrow if I don't practice with you. Going up to her. Are you really so afraid? Yes, dreadfully so. Like, let me practice at once. There is time now before we go to dinner. Sit down and play for me. With great pleasure. So again, she's leading all of this. Very, very important. She takes out a tambourine and a long, variegated shawl. Right? She's performing. She's dressed up. She's active. She puts the shawl around her. She hides herself, and then springs to the front of the stage. Right? And think about the audience watching this. Now play for me. I'm going to dance. And he plays. Rank stands behind the piano and they look on as he plays. Slower, slower. Look at the commands here. Really, really important. I can't do it any other way. Not so violently, Nora. Why is she so violent? On the one hand, she's leading. She's leading and manipulative. But on the other hand, and I don't mean that in a bad way, by the way. On the other hand, though, she's super, super anxious. Now, the Tarantella is a dance performed in Italy, and it was thought, it's linked to the idea of hysteria. It's thought that these women were hysterical if they were bitten by a spider, tarantula, in the south of Italy. This is where the dance comes from. So it was thought these women were hysterical, and that if they danced enough, hysterically, the poison would come out, right? So here, the poison is like, obviously, the fraud being found out, the deceit, the lies, whatever. If she dances enough, maybe it'll come out. We've also got gendered stuff. She's very hysterical, in the sort of traditional way of saying it, right? But she's still dancing and leading and being manipulative. So there's lots of stuff going on here. And we're going to want to look at some of the stage directions, like the fact that her hair comes undone, right? The fact that she's mimicking the Christmas tree and being dishevelled. She does it. Such fun. My dear darling Nora, you dancing as if your life depended on it. Look at the alliterative there. So it does, yeah? This is adding to the tempo of the scene. My dear darling Nora, you're dancing as if your life depended on it. And adding to this atmosphere, this cacophonous sound, the atmosphere, it's quite jarring, it's conflicting, and I feel a bit bad about it, or I feel a bit uncomfortable, sorry. Stop, Rank, this is sheer madness. Stop, I tell you. Rank stops playing. I could never have believed it. You have forgotten everything I taught you, and he's disgusted at her performance. Now, he doesn't like the way she performed. Again, think about the idea of a doll's house, playing with dolls. Think about the birds, the skylark on a bird cage, singing for someone. There you see throwing away the tambourine. There you see you will want a lot of coaching. You see how much I need it. And she's like, again, this is partly because she's anxious, partly because she's coming disheveled, partly because she's hysterical, but also she's leading him. She's saying like, oh, don't focus on the letterbox, you need to help me dancing. Where are we? I don't, Nora, I can tell from the looks there is a letter from him lying there. I don't know, I think there is, but you must not read anything of the kind now. Nothing horrid come between us until this is all over. You mustn't contradict her. The child shall have her way, right? So she's won now. Okay, that's all I'm going to do. You can do the rest yourself. Sorry. I hope that helped. I really do. Sorry they're so long and boring. I probably should sit and plan this down before I make these videos.